Hey, welcome to the Talking Book Podcast. My name is author Perry Patterson, and I write new adult romance.
And I'm MK Stabley, and I write cozy mysteries with a paranormal twist.
And together we make up the Talking Book Podcast. We're about to go live right now with BB Easton.
Okay, and we actually have some people in the audience with us today in the winery or in the wine shop, and they're probably looking forward to getting some possible giveaways, which we are doing tonight as well. So if actually you're in the area, if you want to come down to Rise and Wine at House Ion in Alpharetta, Georgia, come on down. We'd love to see you. So now we are just waiting for BB to come on with us.
We're waiting for BB to join us. So I am going to try to send her a link to join us right now. And we are going to interview BB as soon as I can. Sorry, my phone is sideways.
And of course we are.
And you guys know about our giveaways tonight, right?
Yes. Have you guys entered the giveaways?
We did. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll be announcing the winners at the end of our show.
Okay, we're still trying to get BB to get on our live. Oh,
there she is.
Yay, we got it. Hey, BB. How are you?
How are you?
We are good. So we are so glad that you are here with us tonight. And we are looking forward to hearing about your latest novel. So that is called Group Therapy, and we are super excited. I've already got it pre-ordered.
Oh, thank you guys.
So it's 13 days into the new year of 2022, which kind of sounds like 2020 part two. Kind of. How's it going these 13 days into the new year?
It's going better now that my kids have gone back to school. They were digital for the first couple days, and I was getting some real nasty 2021 flashbacks. But they're back in, and so I got my life back, and just gearing up for release day, which is always super stressful, but fun and exciting at the same time. So it's been a whirlwind over here. How about you?
Well, it's been great for us so far. You know, maybe feeling a little busy, just getting things going. I mean, brand new podcast and everything coming out. So just, getting excited about that. But for those who don't know BB, you've written 9 novels, right? Total. Yep. And the first one was 44 chapters about 4 men. And when I was watching Sex Life on Netflix, I was like, okay, this feels like a book. The narrative kind of feels like a book. So I Googled it, found out it was written or based on a novel by BB Easton. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. 44 chapters about more men. Immediately downloaded that, read it in like 2 days, couldn't put it down, and DM'd BB and said, can you come and do a special, book signing event? And that book signing event was the end of September, and people were coming from all the way from Chattanooga to meet you. Great event, so fun. And then after that book, you wrote 4 books, Skin, Suit, and Star, which are based on the 4 men from that original book. And then you wrote a trilogy, Praying for Rain, Fighting for Rain, Dying for Rain. And I read that trilogy recently, and I really liked it. That's a dystopian romance. Really liked that book.
Thank you.
Trilogy. And now you've written Group Therapy. Tell us a little bit about Group Therapy. You used to be a psychologist. You were a psychologist for a while, but then you were launched into superstardom with the Netflix Sex Life Theory. It was based on your first book. So after you became a superstar, did you decide to write Group Therapy just based from, you being a former psychologist? And how did you come up with the idea of Group Therapy?
I was really inspired. Well, after writing that dystopian romance, I needed something light that was really heavy. And I wrote it in 2019, the dystopian trilogy, back when, no one had heard of COVID or Omicron or Delta or whatever. And so it was, or Alpha, or,
This is what I think. I think it's going to be the Alpha, and it's going to be in a form like a Dementor, like on Harry Potter. when it comes to you, everything will start to ice up. Because
Yeah.
what else is next but the alpha form, right?
No, you're absolutely right. That is the
But
next,
no, I
that's the final
digress.
form. Yeah.
You wanted something light, you wanted something funny. And when you
Yeah.
were with us live for that Ladies Night Out event in September, you talked about how funny you used to be. And then your job as a psychiatrist or psychologist at a school made you a little bit more serious. And you kind of
Hmm.
felt like you lost part of your personality and part of yourself. You
Yeah.
used to be funny. And when I was reading the dystopian romance, the Praying for Rain trilogy, I picked up on that funny. It was funny. I thought it was, I was laughing at certain parts. I thought it was
That's
really
true.
funny.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
so
I have to
I
slip it in
think,
there.
yeah, so I think you are funny. And so I think the idea of you writing a romantic comedy in group therapy is certainly a great idea. So, but did you kind of feel like you were writing it because you were a former psychologist and you kind of had that idea as a former psychologist? I want to portray
Well,
this.
they say to write what you know.
Right.
I was really inspired by the movie Bridesmaids.
Okay.
I wanted to write, I love that movie so much, and Trainwreck, like all of those great Judd Apatow female-led comedies. And it actually started as a screenplay. I wanted to write something similar to Bridesmaids that had this great, quirky, ridiculous ensemble female cast. And because that's what I know. I know about great, funny, quirky, hilarious female psychologists. Having had the pleasure of working with so many of them, that I was like, I'm going to write just this ridiculous cast of characters, and it's all going to be based in this group therapy setting. So everybody is hilarious and just this over the top character. And if you understand that it was supposed to be a romantic comedy screenplay first, I think when you read it, it really helps the characters kind of pop, because you can see them on screen, like um, they're larger than life. So that was really my inspiration. Then after I learned how to write a screenplay and wrote the screenplay, my kids finally went back to school. They were out of school for 9 months when COVID hit, and then I was able to focus enough to really turn it into a novel. So this thing it's on its second life, this story, and I just love it so much. It was so much fun, especially after the apocalyptic world of Praying for Rain. It was a nice little break.
Right. It sounds fabulous. And
Thank
I
you.
have a feeling, MK, what do you think?
I can't wait to get it.
Actually, yeah, it's going to download on my Kindle at midnight on the 1st of February. Is that correct? 1st of February?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to probably have that read in like a day. I have a feeling. I'm
It's so sweet.
cannot wait to post about that once I get it. But yes, I've read so far 4 of your books and can't wait for Group Therapy, the romantic comedy by BB Easton. BB, can we tell you how much we adore you? You are so adorable and so cute.
Oh, thank you. You guys are the sweetest. Thank you so much. And I'm still reeling over that event that you threw in September. I joked at the time that it wasn't a joke though. It was nicer than my wedding. Like I paid for my own wedding when I was like 23. I was like, I want a do-over because it was so swanky. I appreciate you guys so much. And it's so good to see you. As always.
Questions.
Yes, we do have a few questions for you because we did reach out to our audience on the Talking Book Facebook page and
As
some
well
of our
as Instagram.
Yes, and some of our Instagram accounts. So we do have some questions for you, and then we have a few people that are here live at Rise and Wine tonight that might want to talk to you. So I might turn the tripod around and let them ask you some questions. So MK, you have some questions. Go ahead. I'll move over so you can see her.
I'm here. Okay, so we have a few questions. What do you consider like your greatest strengths and weaknesses in your writing?
I think my strengths are I like humor. I feel like that kind of comes out no matter what. Um, I really like prose. I like the way words sound. I pay a lot of attention to the I try to have a like an undercurrent of poetry, even though I like drop the F-bomb every other word. But,
Right.
you know, I really do pay attention to the rhythm and um, just the musicality of the words that I use. I feel like those are things that really come naturally to me. My struggle is speed, for sure. Like I am a very perfectionistic, anxious writer. I can't just like get into the flow and just have it all come out. It's like I struggle for every sentence, every page, and then once I get the page, I read it over and over and over again before I can get the next page. And I would love to work on that, but
So you kind of write
that's a
and edit at the same time.
I do. And everybody says not to do that. And then it slows you down. And it's terrible for your process. And I do it. I can't. I'm addicted to it.
I do it too.
I don't do it as much. I think I read it over and I look at what I've just written maybe, but all the editing, I mean, I spend 3 months editing. I mean, once my editor gets it and I get it back, I spend 3 months, you know, editing and then editing again. And she send it back to her. She gets it back to me. We go over it again. So yeah, there's a lot into the editing process.
Yeah.
I think it's easier just to get it down, get the scenes down. A lot of times the scenes play out like a movie in my head, so I can manipulate the scene as much as I want through that process too. I don't know how that works for you if you play it out like a movie scene in your mind, right or not. How do you do that for writing?
I did with the Rain trilogy. I saw it like a movie, all of it. Group therapy, I definitely saw as a movie. Obviously I wrote the screenplay, so I had the scenes laid out, I mean, to the T, but I'm writing a book now that's totally different. It takes place in Ireland. It's like involves like some kind of magical undertones. It's totally different for me. And I cannot picture it ahead of time. I have to just go into the manuscript and then things just like appear. But it makes me very nervous because I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to write. And then I have to sit down and just like see where it takes me. But it's been a lot of fun too.
And you might have to go over there and do some research maybe.
Yes, it's a beautiful country.
A little, yeah.
It's a beautiful country. I've been there.
I love it.
Research.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's pretty haunted as well, so just saying.
I actually got engaged in Ireland, so I've been over there. It was a long time ago, but I have family from Ireland, so that's why I chose to base it there. It's really, really special to me, so I'm loving it.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a really crazy question because I've seen so many different genres from you. So what made you jump from genre to genre?
But they're all romance.
They are
romance.
But
They
there
are
really different things going on. I mean, you go from like End of Days to like romantic comedy, you know, so I'm kind of like,
and memoir, new adult, yeah. It's bad business. It's not great for your business. I don't recommend it if you're trying to make a living at being a writer. I just got a little pep talk about that from my publicist the other day. Like, sweetie, you know, it'd be a lot easier to sell these books if you would like, you know, be consistent. I was like, I know, I can't. It just takes the fun out of it for me. Once I feel like I've done a genre, I want something new. The idea of doing it again feels like it just doesn't excite me. And if I'm not excited about it, it's not going to propel me through the 3 to 6 months or whatever it's going to take me to write it. So it's just, I'm not a person who can like write to market or write for business reasons, which is a little frustrating. I would love to be able to just write some like beautifully orchestrated mass market contemporary romance trilogy or whatever, but I just, whatever it is that I'm interested in at the moment, that's what's gonna get my ass in the chair and my fingers on the keys every day. So it's not ideal, but that's how my brain works.
Nope, we get it. Sometimes you got to do what feels
yeah.
So we totally get that. Let's see. Someone else asked, besides writing, what do you like to do? Do you have any hobbies or passions?
I love to travel. I have really missed it these last 2 years, but that is one of my absolute favorite things to do is to go someplace I've never been before with a camera.
Yes.
And I can and luckily I have the most patient husband in the world. I don't know how many hours he has wasted staring at his phone, trying to entertain himself while I wander around and take pictures of things. That's like a test. I remember my dad when I was younger, he was like, whoever you marry, you have to go on some trips with them first and make sure that you guys travel well together. And he's the best travel buddy because he will just stand there for an hour while I photograph the same, building, every different angle. But that is just heaven to me. I used to paint. I've actually been kind of itching to do that again. But ever since I had kids, I just don't have I can't like spend a week on a painting. Are you kidding? I can take a picture. That's like, I had to go from painting to like click. Okay, that's my art now. But I love the arts. My mom was an art teacher, so I just grew up around art and in museums. And that's another thing. I love going to museums, films, music, all that stuff.
That's awesome. That's perfect.
Very good. Right. So anybody that's here live tonight at Rise and Wine, if you would like to ask BB a question, I'm going to turn the tripod around if you want to come over and talk to her.
Anybody have a question?
Anybody have a question?
Okay, how about anybody who's watching? Well, I guess we can't really do that.
Well, we could, but I don't know if we have any questions or not. Do you see any questions on your screen?
I haven't seen any yet.
I don't know.
So.
And then Ken packs lunches.
Oh, yeah, Lisa. My husband is so cheap. For those of you who aren't familiar with him, I post about him on Instagram sometimes, but he is extremely frugal. He is an accountant, and he will not let us buy food like at the airport or when we travel. He packs lunches from home in Tupperware. So I always take pictures of the lunches that he packs us. They're pretty cute.
But that's kind of nice that he does that, though. That's kind of nice.
It is. I know. I don't complain.
Okay. All right, so that concludes our live portion of the podcast. We are going to continue recording live here at Rise and Wine and go into our next segment. But we want to say thank you so much to BB Easton for joining us live. And we are so excited about your new book, Group Therapy, that comes out on February 1st. So get your copy today.
Always good to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
BB.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.